You're staring at a map where one wrong call erases your entire team. Night swallows everything outside your position. No lights. No movement. Just silence pressing against your ears. Your radio crackles once, then goes dead again. You're deep inside enemy territory with no backup, no recognition, and no second chances. Your team is waiting. They don't move without your word. Abort or push forward. And you already know either choice costs something. You thought you were prepared. You weren't. Days blur into each other. Sleep becomes a memory. Food becomes a reward. Selection isn't about strength, it's about breaking you quietly. Most don't make it. Real-world numbers show up to 90% drop out. You're always being watched, even when you think you're alone. No feedback. No encouragement. No explanation. Just pressure. You start questioning everything: your body, your decisions, your reason for being here. Some quit loudly. Some disappear silently. You keep going. Not because you're stronger, but because you refuse to stop. Then it hits you. This isn't training. It's filtering. Now they start building you. Weapons become extensions of your hands, not tools, not machines, but extensions. You learn to operate in cities, deserts, and mountains, each environment trying to break your rhythm. You're trained in survival without support, navigation without signals, communication without words. Real operators are trained across disciplines: combat, languages, surveillance, tactics. Mistakes don't get corrected. They get remembered. You feel it. Every failure sticks. Every hesitation gets noticed. You stop reacting. You start anticipating. Your thinking becomes faster, sharper, colder. You're no longer learning. You're becoming dangerous. The plane doesn't feel real. Neither does the silence. No announcements. No recognition. No official existence. Your mission looks simple on paper: observe, report, stay invisible. Recon missions are often your first step, low visibility but high risk. You land in a place where nobody knows you exist, and nobody is coming if things go wrong. Every face becomes a question: threat or innocent. Every movement feels intentional. You stop trusting appearances. Even normal feels suspicious. You walk through crowds like a ghost, but inside you're calculating everything: distances, exits, patterns. You stop seeing clearly. You start suspecting everything. Now it's not just you. It's the team. Small, tight, efficient. Most Special Forces units operate in groups of 4 to 12. Everyone has a role. Everyone has a purpose. You don't talk much. You don't need to. A look, a signal, a pause, that's enough. Trust builds fast because it has to. There's no time for doubt. But trust is fragile. One mistake, one hesitation, and everything cracks. You start relying on them more than yourself. Your instincts shift from individual survival to collective survival. Your life now depends on people you barely know. You're no longer just following, you're advising. Watching the leader. Understanding decisions. You see things earlier now, patterns, mistakes, risks. Experienced operators step into this role, supporting decisions under pressure. You begin to feel something new. Weight. Not full responsibility, but close enough. You notice hesitation before it happens. You see consequences before they unfold. But you don't always have control. That's the hardest part. Knowing, but not deciding. You start asking yourself questions. Would you make the same call? Would you risk it? Would you sacrifice one to save many? You're close enough to power to feel its weight. Now it's you. The call comes to you. Not suggestions, not opinions, orders. You plan the mission route, timing, execution. Special Forces leaders operate with minimal external support, which means you are the support. Your team looks at you, not for comfort but for certainty. You give orders clear, precise, final. But inside, you know the truth. Every decision has a cost. You're told to proceed, but civilians are nearby. You hesitate for a second. Then you decide. The mission continues. That moment stays with you, because now you understand leadership isn't power, it's burden. Every order feels heavier than the last. Now the missions change. Faster. More dangerous. Less forgiving. Hostage situations, critical targets, time-sensitive actions. You don't have the luxury of waiting.
Hesitation becomes failure, and failure has consequences.
Real ones. You move quickly. Think less. Decide more. An operator goes down injured. He can be extracted, but it risks the mission and the rest of the team. You make the call. The mission continues. You feel it immediately, but you don't show it. You can't. Because now you've crossed something. You stop asking if it's right. You ask if it works. You're no longer on the ground. Now you see everything. Multiple teams, multiple operations, all moving at once. Senior operators coordinate missions at scale. You control movement, but from a distance. Screens replace sight. Voices replace presence. You send teams into danger without stepping into it yourself, and somehow that feels heavier. You authorize operations based on intelligence, sometimes incomplete, sometimes uncertain, but delay isn't an option. You make the call anyway. Because now you're not leading people. You're directing outcomes. Distance doesn't reduce responsibility. It multiplies it. It doesn't hit you during the mission. It hits you after. Quiet moments. Still rooms. Empty spaces. Memories don't fade, they repeat. Decisions replay over and over. Research shows high levels of long-term stress and psychological strain in elite forces. Now you understand why. Faces come back. Moments freeze. That one decision, that one call, you revisit it constantly. Could it have gone differently? You'll never know. And that's the problem. The mission ends, but it never leaves you. Now you're given a choice. Step away or stay in the system. Many transition into training, private security, or advisory roles. But the structure remains. The mindset remains. You try normal life routine, silence, stillness, but something feels off. Too slow. Too predictable. Too empty. Or you stay in the shadows, where decisions still matter, where pressure still exists, where purpose still feels real. But you already know the cost, because you've paid it. You can leave the war, but it won't leave you. You're staring at a map again. Different mission. Different team. Same silence. Same pressure. Same decision. Somewhere, a new operator stands where you once stood, uncertain, determined, unaware. Waiting to be tested. Waiting to be shaped. Waiting to become you. You made the calls no one else could make. You carried the weight no one else would take. And now you live with every single one.